You're going to start by practicing identifying errors when creating new variables. Now, if you want to use some technical verbiage, what you're actually doing is finding errors with declaring and initializing variables. Declaring a variable means creating a new variable. It's like making the box for a variable. And it looks like this. Right now, there's no value involved. It's just the data type, the name, and a semicolon. Initializing, on the other hand, is when you set an initial value for a variable. It's that act of putting something inside the box. And in code, it looks like this. Total equals 10. Now, oftentimes you'll combine the two, both declaring and initializing, and write a code statement like int total equals 10. This both creates the box and puts the value inside the box all in one statement. So you're going to be looking at statements like these, which either are both a declaration and an initialization, or just a declaration, and identifying when an error has been made. Now, these errors are bad enough that they're considered compile time errors, and what this means is that Android Studio won't even let you run your code because it can't understand what you're trying to say. Let's take a look at an example of what the Part 1 problems are going to look like. Okay, so this is the first of the Part 1 problems, and I'm just going to walk you through it a little bit. Okay, so the problem states, unread emails is a variable storing the number of unread emails for an inbox app. And we're going to go ahead and assume that there are 10 unread emails. So now you're going to look at these three different initializations/declarations. Some or all of these will have errors. You're just looking at the single line by itself. This is not a block of code. So you'll look at the first one and decide whether it's properly written in a way that it both declares and initializes the variable unread emails. If it does, move on to the next one. And if you don't think it does, then put a check right here in this checkbox. Now, if it has an error, I also want you to come over here and describe what you think is causing the error. Okay, but I'm not necessarily saying that this one has an error. That was just for an example. Okay, so you'd go through these and check the ones that you think have problems, and then describe what the errors are here. If you'd like, I've provided the code for each of these exercises in the instructor notes below, so you can try copying them over one at a time and putting them into the app that you just created for yourself. Once you're done, I highly encourage you to go through the solution video. I'll explain the logic behind which ones had errors.